Alright, now this is where your courage is going to be tested. This is expression, and I'm just putting down any old color. I came in this with the intention to clean up some lines and maybe fix some colors. But I have all this color out. I feel like having fun, so that's what we're going to do. This is an expressionist painting. That's how it started, and that's how it's going to continue. Alright, I'm going to start by putting out my Gamblin solvent-free gel into my piles of paint rather than putting it into my mixes, because it just became a problem the other time I did it. So now, from now on, I've just been doing putting the medium right from the start right into the pile. It's easier to know okay, I'm not exceeding 20% of my paint with the medium. So I'm just mixing them into each color. The colors we're using today is titanium white, cadmium yellow pale, yellow ochre, vermilion, alizarin crimson, French ultramarine blue, and sap green, which is the same exact palette that I used to do this before, but I didn't. I did this one for me, and I didn't make a video. So I decided, since it was looking like it needed oil, I was thinking, I could probably push it even farther and just put some more layers down. So that's what I did. I'm not really going to get into what I'm mixing exactly, because the whole point of this, this is not even a tutorial, but the whole point of this video is to just test your courage and use whatever colors you want, and don't think too much about the context of what colors to use. And I got a pretty interesting effect happening where I'm just using tones of all the colors together, and I don't know, it just brings some kind of weird harmony that I like. I like how delirious it looks. And the whole point of this painting for me, and when I started it, was just for me to have fun and just kind of go with my intuition and not really think too hard about what I'm doing. One of the techniques, and I talk about this in my video that I made, Lump. I talk about using a technique that I call ketchup and mustarding, which sounds absurd. But everything has little bits of red and yellow in it, and to just get the red and yellow out of the way and there, at least underneath, I don't know, it brings an interesting effect. I would say the reds and yellows and whites, I think, bring things forward, but red can also be used as shadows. But I think my best shadows are purples, greens, blues. Those all subtract. Reds and yellows and whites seem to add. So it comes forward, and darker colors. I guess that doesn't really make sense, because alizarin crimson's pretty dark. You can use it as a shadow, but I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not an expert anyway. There's plenty of other art channels out there to watch. But yeah, this is just supposed to be just a fun little painting. I'm not even really trying to copy what I did last time. I'm just putting whatever I want down. I definitely increased the blue in the bottom. One thing I had a problem with when I first started, when I was doing it wet into wet, I ran out of yellow paint at the very end, so it's very orange, and my red got polluted by yellows, and my yellows got polluted by red, so my background is very orange. I fix that. I make it get redder towards the edges and more yellow towards the center in my background. I think I even pour out more yellow paint. One thing that I could have probably done in this touch-up but didn't was probably touch up the eyes, but I didn't really want to do anything to it. I could have probably put some like shadows in and made them look a little less flat, but I don't know. I'm not going for realism, so like I didn't think it mattered as much. I mean, I have like some elements of realism of like shade and highlight, but for the most part, I'm just like following my heart on this one. I'm just using funky delirious colors, and if you were in the room with me, you'd be hearing a ton of copyrighted funk music and stuff. I have to cut the audio out of these videos. I figure I can't talk on camera really because I end up either cutting a lot of clips, like just getting rid of clips in general, and I have to speed everything up for time, so these like more complicated pieces I never talk to the camera, so I just like jam out music, but I have to remove it. Sometimes I'm singing it on the video, but you wouldn't know that because I cut the audio out, and sometimes I might even like cut away if I'm like singing to the camera because like I just get a little bit bored in a moment and just do it for no reason, really. I don't know if you want to listen to music along with this painting tutorial. I suggest listening to the soundtrack of the Mighty Boosh. I just listened to the Mighty Boosh soundtrack while painting this. All the freaky, delirious sounding, wacky songs and stuff. This is a very silly and wonky painting anyway, and yeah. This is just supposed to be fun. One thing on a serious note that I am trying to do, I drew this with pencil when I started from a reference photo that I took of myself. But in the highlight area, for whatever reason, my titanium white wasn't very opaque. I kept seeing my pencil line underneath it. I was trying to make it disappear. It still hasn't disappeared, but for the most part, like all my other pencil lines did. It's just on the right side of the face that's like has the most light shining on it. I can see my pencil line no matter how much paint I put there. But overall, I'm happy with it. And this is going to be the channel avatar for at least a while. I don't know. I didn't really intend it to be the channel avatar. I just decided, oh, you know what? This looks cool. I'm going to just do that. Like this, I had no really pre-thought or planning that I put into it. It was really just, other than taking the reference photo itself, like I wasn't really planning for it to be anything. It was just for fun. Because these videos take a long time between just like the editing. The shooting's the easy part. Sometimes it takes days between shots that I'm doing this. Like I don't do everything in a day or even in the same session. Sometimes I might walk away for a while because oil paint just stays wet anyway, so you can just always return to it a little bit later and move on with your day, or let it dry completely and then just come back to it when it's dry. I have some future videos I'm going to be doing more acrylics stuff. Not that I'm changing it up. It's just there's like two different kinds of workflows when I'm using those two different types of mediums. And I feel like if I use acrylic paint, I could do maybe more beginner work and try to complete it faster. Wow, my hair looks bad. I'm glad I let it grow back out. I'm doing it on myself because I don't have money for a barber. I don't have money for a barber. Jesus. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, I think I'm going in and uh, redoing the background. I'm making the reds on the outside more red, and I'm bringing more yellow in towards the center, towards my face. So it's more of a gradient from a yellow to a red rather than just a like orange. I don't really know what else to say actually at this point. Like, this is not a tutorial. This is just going to be more of a conversational feel. Even though I'm talking to just to a microphone, and I don't really have an audience. At least not right now. I really should be putting on a webcam when I'm doing my voiceovers, and I could probably edit that into the corner of the video. I should be doing that. I probably should change format or whatever. I don't know. I think it puts more work on me though. That's why I think I want to do some acrylic paintings, like just make them like simple beginner stuff that I can do in one setting, because I feel like between the videos and like waiting for oil paints to dry and dealing with the having to clean up the palettes afterwards and stuff, a lot of time just gets taken away. And then there's, you know, your regular life that you know. So I feel like I'm going to try to make some of these videos more easier. I'm going to try to make editing more easier. I'm going to be more indiscriminate with my cuts and not try to keep everything. Maybe I'll stop calling these tutorials. Maybe I'll stop doing tutorials altogether and just go for more of a, I don't know, maybe I should do streaming or something, or I don't know. Maybe have more of like a conversational feel, like a good bedside manners, because I'm not like, you know, I'm not like hoity-toity. I'm not really ultra bougie, or like I'm not a master of arts or anything. I'm just making the videos. I'm trying to like kind of prove to myself that I can do this, and I feel like I've improved my art through making these videos, because I haven't really had a reason to do art in the past. I mean, I've always fancied myself a decent artist, but I don't know. I I guess, you know, you start out with like pencils and markers and stuff, and eventually like it wasn't as satisfying. And I think once I got oil paint, it's made it more satisfying. Ooh, did my butt crack show? I might have to just censor. I'm sorry. I stood up for like a second, and I'm trying to put some red paint on the edges of my panel. I do this just in general to all my paintings. I don't know why. I didn't used to do it, but I figure it's better to do it, because then when taking the photo, if a little bit of white peeks out, there won't be a little bit of white peeking out on the edges. So you just cover the edges with paint, preferably black, but I just used the same color that I was using on the outer edges, which was mostly alizarin crimson. Alizarin crimson. Speak better. I think we're getting towards the end. Let's see. Oh, no, we're not. Well, what else could I talk about? I got like 6 minutes here. Anyone like fishing? I don't know what I'm doing now. Okay, I'm just making the yellows stronger. I just like that yellow a lot more. I wanted it to be have more yellow originally anyway, but I ran out of yellow, and it was also polluted and dirty from mixing other colors when I did it the first time. That's why it was so orange. Now it's more or less what I was going for originally. That's why I always like going back and doing another layer, because when you don't like what you did, it doesn't mean that it's bad or it's wrong. It just means it's not finished and that you just gotta continue. Oh wow, I just made that orange again. I killed some of that red. Oh well. This is mostly yellow anyway. The red is really for the edges, and yeah, and it doesn't matter. If you're doing this project, I recommend take a decent photo of yourself, a reference photo, and then test your courage. Use whatever colors you want. Don't think too much about it. Just start covering your painting, and don't have your end goal in mind, but know when is the right time to just stop and be like, you know what, I got as close as I'm gonna get to my end goal today, but I can get closer the next day. And if you do that, it'll be more satisfying in the end, because I don't know, I guess I have more patience for this type of thing. If you don't have patience, then I don't know what to tell you, but I guess try to get to a point where you feel happy about it. Although, there's so far you can go with oil paint. It stays wet for days on end. You can possibly remove some paint if you put too much paint in an area and you need to do something else with it and you feel like you made the wrong decision. Then I guess you could do that. I just let it dry, and then I just put more layers over, because I figure why take something away? Because I always think that if I put it there, it's probably happening in the image anyway, and it's probably going to show up underneath whatever you put over it next. And I don't know, when I see something happening, I put it in, whether it's the right decision or not, because a lot of the detail that we see, you can't paint detail exactly with oil paint. There's so much detail you can do before, most of it is I don't want to say artifacting, but most of it's visual noise, visual information. Maybe that's a better term. I mean, in film, it's, it would be called film grain, but there's visual information happening, even if you don't see it within the mass tone. You might have a yellow apple and think, oh, the apple is yellow, and I was like, oh, don't put green in it, because then it's gonna look green. But if you don't put the green in it, then it looks flat, because even though the object looks yellow, it's not actually yellow. If an object is white, it's not actually white. Not 100%. Only in the highlight is it 100% white or 100% yellow, where the saturation is most saturated is always in the highlight. Everywhere else is actually a harmony of all the colors of the spectrum, pretty much. You wouldn't think there's blues or greens or purples in skin tone, but there are. I don't know how else to put it. There just is. It's happening, whether you know it or not, and whether you see it in the mass tone. That's what will separate good work from great work, is having color balance and harmony. Because if you're not going to do that, it's going to look flat. Even if it sounds like a wrong decision, just try it. A lot of the old masters paintings, they would do a monochromatic painting, either in black and white or just green and white. They would use sap green and white. and then just put the flesh tones over it, and that green is happening underneath of it. And those are some of the best paintings in the world. So if you don't always trust your artist instinct. It's not always like trust it, but don't always trust it. Like just think about like just trying different things. All right, and we're done. Yeah, there's not really a formula to this one. This one was just I made bold decisions. I mostly tried to stay within the ballpark of where I was on the last painting I made of. I brought up the amount of vibrant yellows outlining. I darkened the reds. Still tried to maintain that transition in the background, and popped up these colors in the hair a bit. I didn't do much work on the face, very minor. And then in here, I didn't really have to do anything, but I just wanted to be interesting. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, thanks for watching. You can follow my links in the description. This is the Disgusting Beauty. I'm out. If anyone is actually watching, I should stop being so pessimistic. No. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Anyway, I'm done. We're done here. Okay, cool, awesome, beautiful, wonderful. Bye-bye.